What's up, everybody? I am joined tonight. I did say that I was going to have a special guest potentially, and she joined. So we have Abby here tonight. We're going to be reading through some of the Bible, kind of seeing what we see, and listening to God's direction and what He has to say to us. Last time we left off kind of just on the edge of digging into Joseph, and Joseph has a big story coming up, and he kind of sets up the next book of the Bible too. So it's a good one, and I'm super excited to have Abby here. It's going to be fun. So if you guys are watching on either one of our channels, because this is streaming to both of our channels, make sure to hit that thumbs up and
do it.
share this out with other people too, so that they know that we're here and we're having a good time. And
I gotta say something. Your intro, I never seen it. Wonderful. And the thing that really stood out to me was "Come as you are," and then "No pressure." Like, that is such a great intro for many reasons, and of course super artistic. But I love that, because that's really what we're told throughout the whole Bible is, you don't gotta be perfect. Just come as you are, and that's super beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. And I mean, the reason behind this whole Bible study is because I feel like a lot of people are just looking for a place to just be with people who are yearning and trying to seek and just listen to some word. So I figured, why not just get on air? You can get a bunch of us together and read together. So,
and you can join us.
Yes, absolutely. We will be, I typically am reading from the Christian Standard Bible version, but I mean, the translation is a translation. So
I think that this is New King James, I think, but it's a Gideon Bible.
Is it really?
I literally took this from a hotel, and I've had other Bibles come my way, and I'm like, there's just something about this one that I'm like, it's a good one. And I have a ton of notes.
See, those are the ones. So I have like a few of them. I also have this one. This is my daily walk Bible.
Nice.
So this is the one that I got. Oh, I dropped something out of it. But this one I got back in 2021 for Christmas, because I really wanted to read the Bible in a year. And this one actually like does like the whole 365 with like a devotional and all of that. So if you want to read through the Bible in a year, like with a daily plan and everything, this one's a really good one that I recommend. But I have so many Bibles, and now like with this one, this one's like the one that I got like as an adult. So this is like the one that I'm digging in, like, you know, writing in all the margins and highlighting a bunch of stuff. So like this is the one that I bought with my like adult money. So like I'm cherishing this one so much more than all the other ones. It feels different, you know?
Right. Because all the stuff that you learned when you had awoken now in a sense. And that's so cool. I've been needing to do that. I have a few brand new Bibles, and I'm like, I should switch over. But I find myself always going here because it has all the notes. So it's like, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
It's the notes. I get it. And like none of my other ones have the notes. So like this is the first one where I'm able to just do and write the notes. So this is like why I'm like attracted to this one. Plus it's like look at it. It's rose gold. And then wait.
So beautiful.
You have to see the inside, especially the maps. So hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Turn this light off for a second so that you can see the maps.
Oh, dude, yes. I think my dad had an old Bible that had maps and things in it.
So
and they stopped making Bibles that had that stuff. That's so cool.
Yeah, so this one's a good one. I highly recommend it for anyone. This is the She Reads Truth Bible. It's a really good one, and I know that the light just like it'll recalibrate eventually. If not, oh well, I'll just be orange today. Um but yeah, this one is good for people who are like brand new to the Bible, who want an easy translation to kind of understand what's actually going on. And the devotionals in it are actually really good. And there's a She Reads Truth and a He Reads Truth. So you can get the male and female version. And they actually have like a bunch of devotionals that you can buy and like plans that you can buy with it. You don't have to do any of that. I don't, because they got my money already with getting with the first purchase.
I love it.
Yes, but I'm also I guess I was stalling a little bit to let the people join. So I think.
Come on, people. Come on, people now.
Good now. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
She's back. I gotta. So I turned one light off. There we go. That's better. Okay. Well, I guess we can get into it. You ready?
Let's do it. I am ready.
All right. So I can. What we can do if you want, we can. I'll read 37, and then you can read 38 if you want, or we can go back and forth.
You're gonna put me on the spot.
I mean, you don't have to.
Okay, I'll try.
No, it's fine. it's fine. You don't have to. Like I said,
prefer you read.
That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I will 100% read. And here's the trade-off. I'll read as long as you bring the brains.
Okay.
You bring the insights, and you can cut me off and do whatever you want. But yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I'll read.
I hope you guys like that plan.
And if God changes the plan, so be it.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right. So Genesis chapter 37. This is Joseph's dreams. Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. These are the family records of Jacob. At 17 years of age, Joseph tended sheep with his brothers. The young man was working with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought a bad report about them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons because Joseph was a son born to him in his old age, and he made a long-sleeved robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not bring themselves to speak peacefully to him. And so the first thing that I will say there is that there's like a translation thing that from different Bibles, when like this one, it just says a long-sleeved robe. There's different Bibles that say that it was a coat of many colors. And,
that's what mine said.
Yeah, so like different. Let me see what my other one says. So that's yours is New King James. Let me see what my other one says.
Let me see what it says, but now I lost where it said the colors.
37. Okay, so this one says
he made him a tunic of many colors. Is what it says.
Okay, so this one says, so one day Jacob had a special gift made for Joseph, a beautiful robe. That one's this one's the New Living Translation, says a beautiful robe.
So we know it was nice looking.
Yeah, we don't know what it looks like. There's many translations as to what it may have looked like. And I guess we'll never know.
They got jealous.
Right.
It was like he got like a cool new Nike jacket.
Right.
And they're like, what? Dad?
How dare you? I deserve one of those too. Okay. Geez. Let's see. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not bring themselves to speak peacefully to him. So that was 37:4. Now 37:5. Then Joseph had a dream. When he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. There we were, binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly my sheaf stood up, and your sheaves gathered around it bowed down to my sheaf. Aren't you really going to reign over us?" His brothers asked him, "Are you really going to rule us?" So they hated him even more because of his dream and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Look," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." He told his father and brothers, and his father rebuked him. "What kind of dream is this that you have had?" he said. Am I and your mother and your brothers really going to come and bow down to the ground before you? His brothers were jealous of him, and his fathers kept the matter in mind. So it doesn't look too good for Joseph right now. His brothers are not happy with him. All right, Joseph sold into slavery. His brothers had gone to pasture their father's flocks at Shechem. Israel said to Joseph, your brothers, you know, are pasturing the flocks at Shechem. Get ready, I'm sending you to them. I'm ready, Joseph replied. Then Israel said to him, go and see how your brothers and the flocks are doing and bring word back to me. So he sent him from the Hebron Valley and went to Shechem. A man found him there, wandering in the fields, asking him, what are you looking for? I'm looking for my brothers, Joseph said. Can you tell me where they are pasturing their flocks? They've moved on from here, the man said. I heard them say, let's go to Dothan. So Joseph set out after his brothers and found them at Dothan. They saw him in the distance, and before he had reached them, they plotted to kill him. They said to one another, oh, look, here comes that dream expert. So now, come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of those pits. We can say that a vicious animal ate him. Those I wouldn't consider those my brothers.
Plotting, man.
Yeah. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams. When Reuben heard this, and Reuben is the oldest brother for those that are unaware.
Oh, thanks. That's good.
When Reuben heard this, he tried to save him from them. He said, let's not take his life. Reuben also said to them, don't shed blood. Throw him into this pit in the wilderness. Don't lay a hand on him, intending to rescue him from them and return him to his father. When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped off Joseph's robe, the long-sleeved robe that he had on. They then took him and threw him into the pit. The pit was empty, without water. They sat down to eat a meal, and when they looked up, there was a caravan of Ishmaelites going from Gilead. Their camels were carrying aromatic gum, balsam, and resin going down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, what do we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come on, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay a hand on him, for he is our brother, our own flesh. And his brothers agreed. When Midianite traders passed by, his brothers pulled Joseph out of the pit and sold him for 20 pieces of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took Joseph to Egypt. That's it? 20 pieces?
I know.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
Was Jesus 30 pieces of silver?
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that.
I don't remember, but it's just like sad. It's just so sad. I mean, at least the brothers had a little bit of a conscience to not kill him. But it's just like, honestly, back then, a slave, you know, they may not make it. Like, still, very savage. Savage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so I looked it up, and Jesus was betrayed for 30 pieces of silver.
Okay. Sorry, Joseph. You weren't as valuable.
I mean, if we think about it, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Savior of the world, Joseph.
Yeah.
I can understand. All right, let's see where we are. Okay, we're on chapter 37, verse 29, I think. Right?
Yes.
Okay. When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said, the boy is gone. What am I going to do? So they took Joseph's robe, slaughtered a male goat, and dipped the robe in its blood. They sent the long-sleeved robe to their father and said, we found this. Examine it. Is it your son's robe or not? His father recognized it. It is my son's robe, he said. A vicious animal has devoured him. Joseph has been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth around his waist, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will go down to Sheol to my son, mourning. And his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guards.
Oh, man. Like, not only did they like sell him and all that crap, then they went back home and they lied about it. And they made it, they freaking planted evidence. Like, these people are, man.
And that's supposed to be savage. Like your own brother.
Their own, own flesh and blood.
It's crazy. It be your own family sometimes, guys. You think your life's bad with your family situation. Think about Joseph. His own
Yeah.
brothers were like, no, we're just gonna we're first off, they were like, we're actually gonna kill him. And
Yes.
then like if it wasn't for the one brother stepping in and being like, no, like we shouldn't kill him. Like let's just sell him and get some money.
Still bad.
Right. But I mean, at least they didn't kill him.
Right. Exactly. And the cool thing about all this, and I don't want to like spill the beans about the story, but in the end of the whole story, you see this major terrible stuff happen to people. And you're like, this is terrible. How could that be of God? It's terrible, whatever. And I'm not saying God does bad things, but he uses bad things for good in the end. And so this is one of those stories where you see all these chess pieces being moved and played. It doesn't make any sense at first, but in the end, it makes massive sense. So love it.
Yeah. I mean, so I know that we haven't really looked in at the chat. My chat's popping off right now, by the way.
Hi, chat.
Yeah, hi, chat. We see you. We love you. And so Rebecca W6 said, deceit ran in the family. Jacob deceived his father and took the blessing from his brother. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I had to go to your
I mean, I know it's fine because I know that people are not aware. They just don't know that you're here. And so we see you though. We see you guys. And Abby sees you now.
I see you now.
But yes, so yeah, but this is like the thing that we see in the Old Testament as because we've read all of Genesis leading up to here together. So chat's up to date on what's going on in Genesis. So, deceit ran in the family. So Jacob, which is, the father, he was the same thing. He took his brother's blessing. He took Esau's blessing.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So that's his dad. And then now, like, one of his sons is doing the same thing. Like, his sons are doing the same thing to each other.
Like fathers like sons.
Yeah.
He didn't fix that problem, man. Oh, that's bad. Wow. Yeah. See, that's why it pays to start from the beginning of the story because you really start to see that giant picture being made. Wow. Mind blown.
It's crazy. And it's funny because I talked about this on Wednesday because I've been Wednesday on my Healing Unmuted show, but I was talking about this and like I'm every day continuing as I like do my own Bible study because like I'm in Exodus now, just kind of like piecing things together and seeing things on the internet because people are starting like their Bible in a year plans, and so they're starting to dig in Genesis. And I'm digging on Genesis here in the Bible study, and I'm in Exodus. So seeing things in Exodus and then making the connections in Genesis and like seeing all of that. And my brain this week, my brain this week has been on Bible overdrive. And
that's awesome.
It's been like the best thing ever.
Yep. And it's so cool because you start seeing those connections. Man, I'm telling you, it's all connected to everything we're experiencing in the world right now. I know we got to get back to this, but like, we were talking about like, let's say with food, for example, now people are learning to eat the healthy fats and things like that. That makes it so your brain is more unlocked and you're able to actually see a bigger picture. You're able actually to start piecing things together. And I think that's what's happening is people are going, oh, we've been conditioned to think the Bible's stupid. This, that, what's going on. And now they're like, well, why don't we just check it out for a minute? Why not? What's the big deal? Check out all the other stuff.
Watch an episode of The Chosen. See what's going on there, and then wait, they said this in there, and that sounds familiar. I've heard that before. I've heard that. That's a Bible verse, isn't it? And then they go look up the Bible verse, and then they're reading the context outside of just the Bible verse that they've heard. Then they're reading stories. They're reading books. Then they're reading the whole Bible.
Yeah. So and then next thing you know, they read the Word of God, and then basically when you do that, something happens. There's just something to it. Yep. And then it will cause that person to wake up and realize not the whole story, but wake up at least and want to understand more and keep searching. And it's such a beautiful thing. Yeah. But yeah, sorry for it's just, I keep on interrupting, but it's just like,
oh no, it's fine.
Such great stories and love it. Just love this.
I'm here for it. And I told people when I first started this, the way that I kind of see a lot of these stories happening, and I've seen it especially in Exodus now, is there's like a part of the story that gets told to like one person. And then that one person then has to like relay the information. So then you read the story again because that person then, relays the information. So it just keeps like big building blocks just keep getting built on top of each other so that you kind of get the full picture as you go. And so I love the way that at least the Genesis has been kind of building like that. So
right. The foundation.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yes. Okay. So for those that are just joining us, we are on chapter 38 in Genesis. So we will read through it. If you guys have any insights or anything that you want us to know in the chat, feel free to drop that in the chat and we'll read it when we read it. All right. Chapter 38, Judah and Tamar. At the time, Judah left his brothers and settled near okay, here we go with some great names. Adulamite named Hira. Oh, this is nothing. When we get into names, there's been like one when we get into like lineage, and I'm like, oh boy, just bear with me, chat, as I get through this. All right, so Adulamite named Hira. There, Judah saw the daughter of a Canaanite named Shua. He took her as a wife and slept with her. She conceived and gave birth to a son, and he named him She conceived again, gave birth to a son, and named him Onan. She gave birth to another son and named him Shelah. It was at Chezib that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. Now Judah's firstborn, was evil in the Lord's sight, and the Lord put him to death. Then Judah said to Onan, "Sleep with your brother's wife. Perform your duty as your brother-in-law and produce offspring for your brother." That's gross. But Onan...
Like, this is savage.
So this is the one thing, and we talked about this on Wednesday. There's a lot of just like House of Dragons type stuff in the Bible.
Raw humanity.
So welcome to history lesson and biology lesson, everyone. Okay. But Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. So whenever he slept with his brother's wife, he released his semen on the ground so that he would not produce offspring for his brother. Nice.
Dang.
What he did was evil in the Lord's sight, so he put him to death also. At least, just God.
Dang.
Okay. Then Judah said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, "Remain a widow in your father's house until my son Shelah grows up." For he thought he might die too, like his brothers. So Tamar went to live in her father's house. After a long time, Judah's wife, the daughter of Shua, died. When Judah had finished mourning, he and his friend Hira, the Adulamite, went up to Timnah to his sheep shearers. Tamar was told, "Your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep." So she took off her widow's clothes, veiled her face, covered herself, and sat at the entrance to Enaim, which is on the way to Timnah. For she saw, though Shelah had grown up, she had not been given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. He went over to her and said, "Come, let me sleep with you," for he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. Here we go. She said, "What will you give me for sleeping with me?" "I will send you a young goat for my flock," he replied. But she said, "Only if you leave something with me until you send it." "What should I give you?" he asked. She answered, "Your signet ring, your cord, and the staff in your hand." So he gave them to her and slept with her, and she became pregnant by him. She got up and left, then removed her veil and put her widow's clothes back on. When Judah sent the young goat by his friend, the Adulamite, in order to get back the items he had left with the woman, he could not find her. He asked the men of the place, "Where is the cult prostitute who was outside or beside the road at Enaim?" "There has been no cult prostitute here," they answered. So the Adulamite returned to Judah, saying, "I couldn't find her, and besides, the men of the place said, 'There has been no cult prostitute here.'" Judah replied, "Let her keep the items for herself. Otherwise, we will become a laughingstock. After all, I did send this young goat, but you couldn't find her." After 3 months, Judah was told, "Your daughter in law, Tamar, has been acting like a prostitute. Now she is pregnant." "Bring her out," Judah said, "and let her be burned to death." Oh boy. Okay, well, just know what you're about to
Dude,
do, sir.
I've never heard any of this. This is insane.
As she was being brought out, she sent her father-in-law this message: "I am pregnant by the man to whom these items belong." And she added, "Examine them. Whose signet ring, cord, and staff are these?" Judah recognized them and said, "She is more in the right than I am, since I did not give her to my son Sheila, and he did not know her intimately again." I guess he learned. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twins in her womb. As she was giving birth, one of them put out his hand, and the midwife took it and tied a scarlet thread around it, announcing, "This one came out first." But then he pulled his hand back. Out came his brother, and she said, "What a breakout you have made for yourself." So he was named Perez. Then his brother, who had the scarlet thread tied to his hand, came out, and he was Zerah. So Perez in my book says breaking out is the name of Perez, and then Zerah means brightness of sunrise, perhaps related to the scarlet thread that was tied around his arm or his hand.
Yeah. Man, I can't help but see something about that woman that they wanted everybody to sleep with. That is very interesting. Like almost like it was a certain type of bloodline that needed to be continued. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And just knowing how that's worked out through the Bible. I think that's what's kind of going on here.
Yeah.
So,
And this is not the first time that we see an incestuous relationship. We see who is it? Oh, Lot. Lot and his
yes.
daughters, because they were sent out of Sodom and Gomorrah, and his daughters were like, "We'll never see men again," and decided to drink up, put a bunch of wine into their dad, make him get drunk, and then sleep with him.
Oh, that's right. I remember that story. I know there's a lot of like, what the heck's going on, you guys? But that's the whole thing about like mankind, us without any kind of guiding light, we could fall into the darkness of sin. So I think all of us could be guilty of such things, but sometimes when you read it, you're like, that's heavy, man.
Yeah. So Jess Coke in my chat said there is a lot cringy in the Old Testament. When reading about Lot and his daughters to my kids, I almost stopped, but realized, why should I censor the Lord's word? It's true.
That's a great point. Is that Jess Coke? Yeah. 100%. You got to just read it like it is. I've never remember hearing this. My dad did read us the Old Testament when I was young, but I don't know. I don't remember this. This is heavy.
Yeah, it is. It is. But anyway, it is. It's definitely a learning moment for sure. And it kind of builds the foundation of where civilizations come from too. And I talked about this and Ash actually shared this with us once. But there's like let me pull up. There's a genealogy, like Bible genealogy map.
Oh, cool.
So it links everybody from start to finish. It is the coolest thing. Let me see if I can find it. It literally links it up to like Donald Trump today.
No way.
Yes. And let me see if I can find it. If I know that I put it in my chat once, and I'll find it at some point. And Abby, I can send it to you at another time. I don't want to take up too much time looking for this, but yeah, it's like it's the coolest thing and it's all color coded, and it's
so somebody really took the time. Yeah, I mean, and there's a reason, in the Old Testament that they spend so much time talking about the lineage. It's very important, and the reverse of that is, with the occult and the deep state New World Order, the bloodlines, right? Yep. They're very much about that too. So there's something sacred about bloodlines. And, specifically, we know that it led up to Jesus, and huge. So there's always something that kind of leads you to a good outcome here.
Yeah, let me see. Actually, nope. I thought I found it. Didn't find it. I lied. Anyways, we'll send it to you guys another time. And if you guys are not already in my Telegram group chat thing, do that, because I drop a lot of resources and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
Am I in your chat?
I have no idea. Probably.
I don't know.
I don't. There's a lot of chats and a lot of things, and I don't like getting cluttered with people's chats, so it's a possibility. But it's all right. All right. Chapter 39, Joseph in Potiphar's house. Now Joseph had been taken to Egypt. An Egyptian named Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, and the captain of the guards brought him from the Ishmaelites who had brought him there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he became a successful man serving in the household of this Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him and that the Lord made everything he did successful, Joseph found favor with his master and became his personal attendant. Potiphar also put him in charge of his household and placed all that he owned under his authority. From the time that he put him in charge of his household and of all that he owned, the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house because of Egypt. Because of Joseph, not Egypt. The Lord's blessing was on all that he owned in his house and in his fields. He left all that he owned under Joseph's authority. He did not concern himself with anything except for the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome. After some time, his master's wife looked longingly at Joseph and said, "Sleep with me." But he refused. "Look," he said to his master's wife, "with me here, my master does not concern himself with anything in his house, and he has put all he owns under my authority. No one in this house is greater than I am. He has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. So how could I do this intense evil, and how could I sin against God?" Although he spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her. Now one day he went into the house to do his work, and none of the household servants were there. She grabbed him by his garment and said, "Sleep with me." But leave his garment in her hand. He escaped. He ran outside. When she saw that he had left his garment with her and he had run outside, she called her household servants. "Look," she said to them, "my husband brought a Hebrew man to make fools of us. He came to me so he could sleep with me, and I screamed as loud as I could. When he heard me screaming for help, he left his garment beside me and ran outside." This witch. She knew what she was doing. How rude. She put Joseph's garment beside her until his master came home. Then she told him the same story. "The Hebrew slave you brought to us came to make a fool of me. But when I screamed for help, he left his garment beside me and ran outside." When his master heard the story his wife had told him, "These are the things your slave did to me," he was furious, and he had him thrown into prison, where the king's prisoners were confined. So Joseph was there in prison. How rude. Joseph in prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and extended kindness to him. He granted him favor with the prison warden. The warden put all the prisoners who were in the prison under Joseph's authority, and he was responsible for everything that was done there. The warden did not bother with anything under Joseph's authority because the Lord was with him, and the Lord made everything that he did successful.
Yeah.
So that right there just tells you everything you need to know, that God is going to literally be with you, and he's going to be faithful through it all. And even when you're in chains, when you did nothing wrong, it kind of sounds like Tina Peters, don't you think?
Oh, whoa, right? You did nothing wrong. And that's the thing, is like, the prior stories, they were tempted and they slept with her, right? Whoever the woman is of the time. But then this lady, oh man, there's so much to say about her. But she was trying, and he was denying. Mm-hmm. And he never did. He actually never did. But she got his claw so she could say, "Oh, look, he tried and he was here." Total lying, But so basically the story is, you could be following God, doing what's right, and still some bad things might happen to you, but that doesn't mean that God isn't with you. And it's all
Right.
part of the story, if you want to put it that way.
Right. And the story's not over. That's a thing.
Yes.
This is just the middle of the story. So like just when you think that the world is over, that this is the end of the story, it's only the beginning, if you will. Like we're just about to hit the top and we're about to go full speed ahead down the hill. All right,
go.
chapter 40. Joseph interprets two prisoners' dreams. After this, the king of Egypt's cupbearer and baker offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guards, in the prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guards assigned Joseph to them as their personal attendant, and they were in custody for some time. The king of Egypt's cupbearer and baker were confined in the prison, each had a dream. Who were confined in the prison, each had a dream. Both had a dream on the same night, and each dream had its own meaning. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they looked distraught. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were in custody with him in their master's house, "Why do you look so sad today?" "We had dreams," they said to him, "but there was no one to interpret them." Then Joseph said to them, Don't interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams." So the chief cupbearer, So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph. "In my dream, there was a vine in front of me. On the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms came out and its clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. This is its interpretation," Joseph said to him. "The 3 branches are 3 days. In just 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position. You will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand the way you used to when you were his cupbearer. But when all goes well for you, remember that I was with you. Please show kindness to me by mentioning me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. For I was kidnapped from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing that they should put me in the dungeon." When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was positive, he said to Joseph, "I also had a dream. 3 baskets of white bread were on my head. In the top basket were all sorts of baked goods for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the baskets on my head." "This is the interpretation," Joseph replied. "The 3 baskets are 3 days. In just 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from off you and hang you on a tree. Then the birds will eat the flesh from your body." Morbid. On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he gave a feast for all his servants. He elevated the chief cupbearer and the chief baker among his servants. Pharaoh restored the chief cupbearer to his position as cupbearer, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But Pharaoh hanged the chief baker, just as Joseph had explained to him. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph. He forgot him.
Oh, come on.
Right?
You should have said something.
Anything.
Oh, wow.
Well, talk about
talk
about more.
Now he's interpreting people's dreams from this position. So that's pretty wild.
Right. So we'll see, like I said, this is the slow, steady climb. We thought that we were at the low pits in the dungeons. And slowly we're gonna see, Joseph, maybe he didn't get that first push and he thought like the guy was gonna be like, "Hey, remember me," and he didn't. So now let's see what happens next. This is chapter 41. So chapter 41, at the end of 2 years, Pharaoh had a dream. He was standing beside the Nile when 7 healthy-looking, well-fed cows came up from the Nile and began to graze among the reeds. After them, 7 other cows, sickly and thin, came up from the Nile and stood beside those cows along the bank of the Nile. The sickly, thin cows ate the healthy, well-fed cows. Then Pharaoh woke up. He fell asleep and dreamed a second time. 7 heads of grain, plump and good, came up on one stalk. After them, 7 heads of grain, thin and scorched by the east wind, sprouted up. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 plump, full ones. Then Pharaoh woke up, and it was only a dream. When morning came, he was troubled, so he summoned all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, "Today I remember my faults." He remembers the guy.
Finally.
Yeah. Only took him, 2 years later?
Oh, man. Oof.
Pharaoh was angry with his servants, and he put me and the chief baker in the custody of the captain of the guards. He and I had dreams on the same night. Each dream had its own meaning. Now, a young Hebrew, a slave of the captain of the guards, was with us there. He told him our dreams, or we told him our dreams. He interpreted our dreams for us, and each had its own interpretation. It turned out just the way he interpreted them to us. I was restored to my position, and the other man was hanged. Then Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and they quickly brought him from the dungeon. He shaved, changed his clothes, and went to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I have had a dream, and no one can interpret it. But I have heard it is said about you that you can hear a dream and interpret it." "I am not able to," Joseph answered Pharaoh. "It is God who will give Pharaoh a favorable answer." So that right there,
That's awesome.
That faith thing. Yeah, he was working in obedience, and that's like the big thing in Genesis is like the obedience thing. God asks you, are you going to be obedient? And you either do the thing right away, or you wait, and you have to wait to, for God to give you another opportunity to kind of prove yourself.
Right.
Or you
run away.
Or you get some kind of curse, or
Oh yeah, right.
There's many endless options, but this is God right here. This has to be a God thing. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is 41:17. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "In my dream, I was standing on the bank of the Nile when 7 well-fed, healthy-looking cows came up from the Nile and grazed among the reeds. After them, 7 other cows, weak, very sickly, and thin, came up. I've never seen such sickly ones as these in all the land of Egypt. Then the thin, sickly cows ate the first 7 well-fed cows. When they had devoured them, you could not tell that they had devoured them. Their appearance was as bad as it had been before. Then I woke up. In my dream, I also saw 7 heads of grain, full and good, coming up on one stalk. After them, 7 heads of grain, withered, thin, and scorched by the east wind, sprouted up. The thin heads of grain swallowed the 7 good ones. I told this to the magicians, but no one can tell me what it means." Here he comes. Joseph's about to tell him. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, "Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. The dreams mean the same thing. The 7 thin, sickly cows that come up after them are 7 years, and the 7 worthless heads of grain scorched by the east winds are 7 years of famine. It is just as I told Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt. After them, 7 years of famine will take place, and all the abundance in the land of Egypt will be forgotten. The famine will devastate the land. The abundance in the land will not be remembered because of the famine that follows it, for the famine will be very severe. Since the dream was given twice to Pharaoh, it means that the matter has been determined by God, and it will carry out soon." So that's how God works. He's going to give you a confirmation.
I like that. Yes. Because like since it was twice, it's definitely meaning it's happening soon. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. So now, let Joseph look for a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this. Let him appoint overseers over the land and take 1/5 of the harvest of the land of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. Let them gather all the excess food during these good years that are coming. Under Pharaoh's authority, store the grain in the cities so they may preserve it as food. The food will be a reserve for the land during the 7 years of famine that will take place in the land of Egypt. then the country will not be wiped out by the famine. So he's giving us everything that we need. He's being basically saying, like, look, guys, are you guys going to be obedient and listen to what I'm telling you and heed my warning?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to be dumb and starve for 7 years?
Yeah, it's also interesting. It's like during the time of plenty, take a little bit. It kind of reminds me, it's not exactly, but like here when people gather firewood for the winter for their wood stoves, you are gathering the firewood during the summer when it's nice, when you can get places. And you tend to want to just go play during the summer and not store for when you're going to need it. And so I see that here where it's the years of plenty. You can take a little bit and just put it on the side. So that's a really cool concept. And so I love this prep. And the other thing I thought, this action by him interpreting the dream quite literally keeps a nation from collapsing. Egypt.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah,
Very
huge. And it's funny that same nation is the nation that enslaves these same people.
Oh yeah.
In Exodus, like literally, the Egyptians come enslave these same people and treat them like literal garbage for 400 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's a long time. And they're like they're slaves.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
But now he's quite literally saving them.
Yep. Wow.
Crazy how that works out. All right. So we're still on chapter 41. And now we're on verse 37, right?
Okay. I think.
Yes. Okay. So Joseph exalted. And so the proposal pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. And he said to them, "Can we find anyone like this, a man who has God's spirit in them?" So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one as discerning and wise as you are. You will be over my house, and all my people will obey your commands. Only I, as king, will be greater than you." Pharaoh also said to Joseph, "See, I am placing you over all the land of Egypt." Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, clothed him with fine linen garments, and placed a gold chain around his neck. He had Joseph ride in his second chariot, and servants called out before him, "Make way!" So he placed him over all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh, and no one will be able to raise his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt without your permission." Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zaphenath-Paneah and gave him a wife, Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest at On. And Joseph went throughout the land of Egypt. So he went from literally being in a pit that his brothers threw him in to now being second in command in Egypt.
Oof.
You can't tell me that's a come up. That's a come up and a blessing that nobody would have even imagined.
Yeah. Oh man, I like how it was so defined too. Like how he gave him a ring. He put, was it satin or linen, fine linen and gold chain around his neck. This just sounds so like, sorry, I know my definition is a little different, but
oh, no, you're good.
Like he like became like second in command.
that royalty thing. Like whenever you do like the coronations and they put like all the jewels and the crowns and like the special garments, and it's like a whole affair.
Yes. And he got a wife.
Yeah. Nice. Got a wife. Nice. All right, let's continue on. Now we're going to get into Joseph's administration.
Cool.
Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Joseph left Pharaoh's presence and traveled throughout the land of Egypt. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced outstanding harvests. Joseph gathered all the excess food in the land of Egypt during the 7 years and put it in the cities. He put the food in every city from the fields around it. So Joseph stored up grain in such abundance, like the sand of the sea, that he stopped measuring it because it was beyond measure. 2 sons were born to Joseph before the years of famine arrived. Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, priest at On, bore them to him. Joseph named the firstborn Manasseh and said, "God has made me forget all my hardship and my whole family." And the second son he named Ephraim, and said, God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. Then the 7 years of abundance in the land of Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had said. There was famine in every land, but in the whole land of Egypt there was food. When the whole land of Egypt was stricken with famine, the people cried out to Pharaoh for food. Pharaoh told all Egypt, Go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you. Now the famine had spread across the whole region, so Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe in the land of Egypt. Every land came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain, for the famine was severe in every land. So there he goes. Everybody's got to come to him and do what he says because he listened to God.
And it says all countries came to Joseph in Egypt. Yep. So it wasn't just Egypt that was providing for itself during the famine. Other people were like, oh, Egypt, they still have reserves. Go there. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. So someone in my chat said, fun fact, the pyramids were already 100 years old when Jacob's family came to Egypt.
Oh.
That's interesting.
Interesting. I need to research all that timeline stuff.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. So this Bible that I'm reading from also has a timeline. That's kind of nice in the beginning of it. So it tells you, like, I don't know if you're probably not gonna be able to see it. I gotta turn all the.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I do not have that.
I'll send you a picture.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it so that you can have it. And that's gonna turn me orange again, but we'll fix it because we'll do this and then haha. All right. For those that are just joining us, hello, welcome. Glad you're here. If you guys have not joined us before, this is Bible study. And what we do with Bible study is we basically read a verse, kind of chit chat through it, and it really is it's a low key, no homework, just a way to kind of fellowship together and dig into what God is saying. So
I love that.
Yeah, and the hope, fingers crossed, we'll see how much we're able to actually do is to read the Bible in a year.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see, and we're not going to be reading it straight cover to cover. We'll skip around and jump around. I've been like kind of formulating a plan and like writing it all down. So we'll jump around and we're gonna have a good time. So stay tuned, stick around. We'll have Abby whenever she wants. Yay! I told Abby, I said, look, I know that Rumble studio hours come at you quick, and
they come at you quick.
they do. So whenever Abby wants to come on and get some studio hours, feel free, dude. Like,
awesome.
This, and that's for anybody. If you are watching, and if you are a Rumble Premium creator, you need some studio hours. Come on, grab like 2 hours on a session, because that's usually how long this goes. So
let's talk Bible.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
It's a great time. I love it.
Awesome. Well, hi guys in the chat. We love you. Just Coke, she said, absolutely love this, Jackie. Thank you and God bless. God bless you.
Yeah, I love it. This is good.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get back into it. We're gonna try to get through Genesis, like through the end of Genesis. We're gonna try. If we end up not doing it, it's fine. But
okay.
Anyways, here we go. Chapter 42. Chapter 42. This is Joseph's brothers in Egypt. When Jacob learned that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "Why do you keep looking at each other? Why do you keep looking at each other? Listen." He went on, "I have heard there is grain in Egypt. Go down there and buy some for us so that we may live and not die." So 10 of Joseph's brothers went down to buy grain from Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin, who was the youngest, with his brothers, for he thought something might happen to him. He's still playing favorites, guys. He played favorites with his son Joseph.
Right.
And now he is playing favorites again with the youngest son, Benjamin, because those were the 2 sons that he was able to have with his favorite, Rachel.
I see.
I think Rachel died in labor with Benjamin, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
That was something that they talked about earlier in Genesis. Yeah. Okay. So the sons of Israel were among those who came to buy grain, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Joseph was in charge of the country. He sold grain to all its people. His brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the ground. This is the dream fulfilled, guys. This is the dream in
Bow down
37:7.
to me.
When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but he treated them like strangers and spoke harshly to them. Where do you come from? He asked. From the land of Canaan to buy food, they replied. Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they did not recognize him. Joseph remembered his dream about them and said to them, "You are spies. You have come to see the weakness of the land." "No, my lord, your servants have come to buy food," they said. "We are all sons of one man. We are honest. Your servants are not spies." "No," he said to them, "you have come to see the weakness of the land." But they replied, "We, your servants, were 12 brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. The youngest is now with our father, and one is no longer living." Then Joseph said to them, "I have spoken. You are spies. This is how you will be tested. As surely as Pharaoh lives, you will not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one."
Calling him out.
Yep. You guys want to play games?
Yeah.
Go get the one that you know that you're saving. Send one from among you to get your brother. The rest of you will be imprisoned so that your words can be tested to see if they are true. If you are not, then as surely as Pharaoh lives, you are spies. So Joseph imprisoned them together for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph said to them, "I fear God. Do this and you will live. If you are honest, let one of you be confined to the guardhouse, while the rest of you go and take grain to relieve the hunger of your households. Bring your youngest brother to me so that your words can be confirmed. Then you won't die." And they consented to this. Then they said to each other, "Obviously, we are being punished for what we did to our brother. We saw his deep distress when he pleaded with us, but we would not listen. This is why this trouble has come to us." But Reuben replied, "Didn't I tell you not to harm the boy? But you wouldn't listen. Now we must account for his blood."
Oh, that's the oldest.
Yep. That was the
oldest.
That was the
and
oldest.
He was going to save him originally, I think.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
He was going to go back and get him from the pit. Okay. Yes. They did not realize that Joseph understood them. Since there was an interpreter between them, he turned away from them and wept. Which, again, that right there, he's like, he feels that conviction. He's like, I these are my brothers. I can't be treating them like this. But, when he turned back and spoke to them, he took Simeon from them and had him bound before their eyes, because he knew what he had to do. So he felt badly for binding up his own brother.
Yep.
Joseph then gave orders to fill their containers with grain, return each man's silver to his sack, and give them provisions for their journey. This order was carried out. They loaded the grain on their donkeys and left there. So they thought that they were, being imprisoned, that they were going to be left and not get any of the provisions they came for. Little did they know that Joseph filled up their carts, put money in their sacks, and sent them on their way.
And even feed for their donkey that was going. Like, that was some nice treatment. And the one thing I liked beforehand, he locked him up for 3 days, and then he's like, "Okay, because I fear God, I'm gonna blah blah blah." Right?
It's not because I like you guys.
You're right. I can imagine him for those 3 days. It probably felt good. The first day, he's like, "Yeah, you guys get what you deserve." And then he is a God-fearing man. Mm-hmm. And then probably his conscience was starting to get pricked. Like, this isn't right. It's not right. And he's like, "Yes, God, I do fear you." Like,
he felt convicted. And I feel like we've all felt that conviction at one point or another, where you're just like, "I'm really mad at that person. Curse them," and after you tell them off and you're like, yeah, I feel so good. And then like, you're like, oh man,
Dang it.
I shouldn't have said that. That was so mean of me.
It was good in the moment.
Right. All right.
But
The
yeah, it
brothers
was nice.
return
He
home.
gave them all the grain. That was very nice. So
Yes.
he turned out to be very loving.
He's a loving brother. He does care for his brothers. And he wept when he knew that he needed to bind up his brother. He wept about it because he's like, I don't want to have to do this, but I also need to teach them a lesson,
Yeah.
All right. At the place where they lodged for the night, one of them opened his sack to get his feed for the donkey, and he saw his silver there at the top of his bag. He said to his brother, my silver has been returned. It's here in my bag. Their hearts sank. Trembling, they turned to one another and said, what has God done to us? When they reached their father Jacob in the land of Canaan, they told him of all that had happened to them. The man who was the lord of the country spoke harshly to us and accused us of spying on the country. But we told him, we are honest and not spies. We were 12 brothers, sons of the same father. One is no longer living, and the youngest is now with our father in the land of Canaan. The man who is the lord of the country said to us, this is how I will know you are honest. Leave one brother with me. Take food to relieve the hunger of your households and go. Bring back your youngest brother to me, and I will know that you are not spies but honest men. I will then give your brother back to you, and you can trade in the country. As they began emptying their sacks, there in each man's sack was his bag of silver. When they and their father saw their bags of silver, they were afraid. Their father Jacob said to them, it's me that you make childless. It's me that you make childless. Joseph is gone, and Simeon is gone. Now you want to take Benjamin? Everything happens to me. Then Reuben said to his father, you can kill my 2 sons if I don't bring him back to you. Put him in my care, and I will return him to you. So again, big brother Reuben coming to the rescue.
Yep.
But Jacob answered, my son will not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he alone is left. If anything happens to him on your journey, you will bring your gray hairs down to Sheol, and you will bring my gray hairs down to Sheol in horror or sorrow. So Jacob he keeps focusing on loss.
Yes.
Like
he almost is like God's gonna keep punishing him or something. Like, woe is me. And obviously, when you lose children, it makes sense to feel that way. Like, I'm not belittling that, but his mindset, I should say, the area he decides to keep his mind is always in this state that something's gonna happen, some bad's gonna happen, some bad's gonna happen. And when you're always in that state of mind, you kind of attract that your way, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Like, he worries. I could tell.
Yeah, he's definitely a worrier. And you would think that, with God on your side, you wouldn't worry. But it, alas,
happens to the best of us.
It sure does.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, real quick, I just saw this comment. So Rachel named him Ben-Ani, son of my sorrows. Jacob changed it to Benjamin, son of my happiness. So that is very interesting. And I'm glad that they changed it.
Yeah. That's super cool.
Yeah. All right. Chapter 43, Decision to Return to Egypt. Now the famine in the land was severe. When they had used up the grain they had brought back from Egypt, their father said to them, go back and buy us a little food. But Judah said to him, the man specifically warned us, you will not see me again unless your brother is with you. If you will send your brother with us, we will go down and buy food for you. But if you will not send him, we will not go, for the man said to us, you will not see me again unless your brother is with you. Why have you caused me so much trouble? Israel asked. Why did you tell the man that you had another brother? They asked, the man kept asking about us and our family. Is your father still alive? Do you have another brother? And we answered him accordingly. How could we know that he would say, bring your brother here? Then Judah said to his father Israel, send the boy with me. We will be on our way so that we may live and not die. Neither we, nor you, nor our dependents. I will be responsible for him. You can hold me personally accountable. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, I will be guilty before you forever. If we had not delayed, we could have come back twice by now. And that establishes Judah as a leader, which, if you guys didn't know, Judah is the line of Jesus.
There you go. Yep.
So then their father Israel said to them, if it must be so, then do this. Put some of the best products of the land in your packs and take them down to the man as a gift. A little balsam and a little honey, aromatic gum and resin, pistachios and almonds. Take twice as much silver with you. Return the silver that was returned to you in the top of your bags. Perhaps it was a mistake. Take your brother also and go back at once to the man. May God Almighty cause the man to be merciful to you so that he will release your other brother and Benjamin to you. As for me, if I am deprived of my sons, then I am deprived. So, yeah.
So he kind of submitted, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, let's do it. Also, I like how he's like, give the silver back. Yep. I'm not going to take that.
He's like, it could have been a mistake. I don't want to have that guilty conscience. You guys do what you still need to do. Yeah. All right, the return to Egypt. The men took his gift, double the amount of silver, and Benjamin. They immediately went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to his steward, take the men to my house, slaughter an animal, and prepare it, for they will eat with me at noon. The man did as Joseph had said and brought them to Joseph's house. But the men were afraid because they were taken to Joseph's house. They said, we have been brought here because of the silver that was returned in our bags the first time. They intend to overpower us, seize us, make us slaves, and take our donkeys. So they approached Joseph's steward and spoke to him at the doorway of the house. Why are they so scared? Like a guilty conscience 101.
Don't take my donkeys. We need a shirt that says that.
Oh, God. They said, my lord, we really did not come down here the first time only to buy food. When we came to the place where we lodged for the night and opened our bags of grain, each one's silver was at the top of his bag. It was the full amount of our silver, and we have brought it back with us. We have brought additional silver with us to buy food. We don't know what or who put our silver in the bags. Then the steward said, may you be well. Don't be afraid. Your God and the God of your father must have put treasure in your bags. I received your silver. Then he brought Simeon out to them. The steward brought the men into Joseph's house, gave them water to wash their feet, and got feed for their donkeys. Since the men had heard that they were going to eat a meal there, they prepared their gift to Joseph's arrival at noon. When Joseph came home, they brought him the gift they had carried into the house, and they bowed to the ground before him.
Whew.
All right. There's that dream again. He asked if they were well, and he said, how is your elderly father that you told me about? Is he still alive? They answered, your servant our father is well. He is still alive. And they knelt low and paid homage to him. When they looked up and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, he asked, is this your younger brother that you told me about? Then he said, may God be gracious to you, my son. Joseph hurried out because he was overcome with emotion for his brother, and he was about to weep. He went into an inner room and wept there. So those emotions right there, guys, that's proof of healing. He finally, I feel like, can accept his brothers again. They've done everything that they needed to do to kind of prove to him that they're not going to kill him again, basically.
Right. And I think it's even right here. It's like, it's almost deeper, like, because it's the mother. There's different mothers, right?
Yep.
So this is the mother, his mother. Mm-hmm. So it's the brother. It's like his only brother that's from the dad and the mom, right? So he had massive emotion about it because it was like, yeah, and I can see why he hated the other brothers. They sold him away, right? And this last brother wasn't born yet, right? Mm-hmm. Is that kind of how? Okay, so
yeah.
So he was like the good, pure one, and yeah, that's cool. I like that.
It is. It is nice. All right, so then he washed his face and came out. Regaining his composure, he said, "Serve the meal." They served him by himself, his brothers by themselves, and the Egyptians who were eating with them by themselves, because Egyptians could not eat with Hebrews, since that is detestable to them. Interesting political statement there.
Right.
They were seated before him in order by age, from the firstborn to the youngest. The men looked at each other in astonishment. Portions were served for them from Joseph's table, and Benjamin's portions was 5 times larger than any of the others. So he's the youngest brother.
And he gets the spoiling, right? There's a thing there. Interesting.
Yep. So they drank and became drunk with Joseph. And that right there, that's chapter 43. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yes. And I don't even remember what happens here, but it's like usually when people drink, some things can happen in the Bible.
Yeah. And that's true. So K.O. Kelly also brought up, we don't hear much about the sister. So, yeah, the sister Dinah, the Dinah that we talked about at the end of Bible study last time. She's a sister that someone raped her, and then the brothers raped and pillaged a town and killed a bunch of people because they raped her sister.
No way.
Yes. So Dinah.
That's savage revenge.
Yep.
But I mean, things were different back then, like we keep saying. That's crazy.
So it's funny that we say that, because at the end of Genesis, and we'll hopefully get to that here in a second, but they talk about all of the different siblings and like their blessings that they're going to be getting and all of that. And I think Dinah, they end up bringing her up there too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. All right. So Joseph's final test. This is chapter 44. Joseph commanded his steward, "Fill the men's bags with as much food as they can carry, and put each one's silver at the top of his bag. Put my cup, the silver one, at the top of the youngest one's bag, along with the silver up for his grain." So he did as Joseph told him. At morning light, the men were sent off with their donkeys. They had not gone very far from the city when Joseph said to his steward, "Get up, pursue the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, 'Why have you repaid evil for good? Isn't this the cup that my master drinks from and uses for divination? What have you done? What you have done is wrong.'" When he overtook them, he said these words to them. They said to him, "Why does my lord say these things? Your servants could not possibly do such a thing. We even brought back to you from the land of Canaan the silver we found at the top of our bags. How could we steal silver or gold from your master's house? If it is found with one of us, your servants, I'm just going to start that sentence over. If it is found with one of us, your servants, he must die, and the rest of us will become my lord's slaves." The steward replied, "What you have said is right, but only the one who is found to have it will be my slave, and the rest of you will be blameless." So each one quickly lowered his sack to the ground and opened it. The steward searched, beginning with the oldest and ending with the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they tore their clothes, and each one loaded his donkey and returned to the city. So this right here is the same test that they had before, but they all have new hearts. They had that same test when they found the cup, but this was the silver the last time. They felt hardened. They were so upset that they found the silver that Joseph had given them. But now they have a new heart. So when Joseph and his brothers reached Joseph's house, he was still there. They fell to the ground before him. "What have you done?" Joseph said to them. "Didn't you know that a man like me could uncover the truth by divination?" "What can we say to my lord?" Judah replied. "How can we plead? How can we justify ourselves? God has exposed your servant's iniquity. We are now my lord's slaves, both we and the one in whose possession the cup was found." Then Joseph said, "I swear that I will not do this. The man in whose possession this cup was found will be my slave. The rest of you can go in peace to your father." So again, That same test where they had the brother who was going to be the one that's going to be sent off. He asks them, okay, I have to take one of your brothers. You got to keep him here with me. Will they leave him? Will they abandon him again? Or will they actually, do something about it?
Oh, whoa, weird. I like that parallel. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so Judah's plea for Benjamin. But Judah approached him and said, "My lord, please let your servant speak personally to my lord. Do not be angry with your servant, for you are like Pharaoh." My lord asked his servant, "Do you have a father or a brother?" And he answered, "My lord, we have an elderly father and a younger brother, the child of his old age. The boy's brother is dead. He is the only one of his mother's sons left, and my father loves him. Then you said to your servants, 'Bring him to me so that I can see him.' But we said to my lord, 'The boy cannot leave his father. But if he were to leave, his father would die.' Then you said to your servants, 'If your younger brother does not come down with you, you will not see me again.' This is what happened when you went back to your servant, my father. We reported to him the words of my lord, but our father said, 'Go again and buy us a little food.' We told him, 'We cannot go down unless our younger brother goes with us. If our younger brother isn't with us, we cannot see the man.' Your servant, my father, said to us, 'You know that my wife bore me 2 sons. One is gone from me.' I said, 'He must have been torn to pieces, and I have never seen him again. If you also take this one from me, and anything happens to him, you will bring my gray hairs down to Sheol in sorrow. So if I come to your servant, my father, and the boy is not with us, his life is wrapped up with the boy's life. When he sees that the boy is not with us, he will die. Then your servants will have brought the gray hairs of your servant, our father, down to Sheol in sorrow. Your servant became accountable to my father for the boy, saying, 'If I do not return him to you, I will always bear the guilt for sinning against you, my father. Now please let your servant remain here as my lord's slave in place of the boy. Let him go back with his brothers. For how can I go back to my father without the boy? I could not bear to see the grief that would overwhelm my father.'" So again, Judah's the one that steps up. Judah's the one that steps up and to be like, "No, like I can't do this. Take me. I will stay, and they will go get our dad, bring them here because I can't leave Benjamin with you. I'm sorry, I can't do that." So, and again, Judah and Jesus from that same tribe. So this is the start of that.
Sacrificial, right? Like I'm taking the place. Very cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen these types of parallels before. And I've read this or, heard people read it or read it myself just, throughout the years. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this.
Yeah. And it's so cool to see the connections. I mean, I watched this video once where it was talking about like all the connections in the Bible, and there's like 4,000 plus connections or something like that. There's different writers of the Bible and different time periods, because the Bible spans like 1,500 years or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a really long time. So seeing all of that and all the different writers and how it all connects, it's just like the coolest thing to be able to dissect it.
Dude, I agree. It's like everything's connected.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, so this is like QD code to like the
mean, right? I mean, but it's true though, because like God is intertwined in everything. He's the creator of all. He knows all time. He's beyond time. He's like, so you do see, it's like you could see when you look back, you can see the hands of God. But like when you're in the present, like let's say right now, you can have the faith that God is working, but you might not see the outcome yet. But that's why faith is so valuable, is because you keep pressing through, even if you don't have all the evidence.
Yeah.
You trust in God's promises, right? And for the most part, good always does come out of it. Hopefully you're around to see it. Some of these people didn't see it in their lifetime, but God was definitely moving. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And we all get to see at least a different wave of God, because everybody, I feel like our grandparents got to see something that we get to see. Like it just like the different waves of Christianity that moves. It's really cool to be able to see, because it is different from generation to generation. But it's all connected and it's all kind of moving together to the main goal of saving lives.
Yes, I agree. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I've not read I haven't been so crazy fond of the Old Testament. So it's good that you're starting that way, because I remember I was always like, well, Jesus comes and everything from then, let's listen to that. And yes, people had different beliefs and there's a lot of stuff going on here that was pretty wild, but there's so many lessons to be learned in like the history of mankind. So I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's cool. It's cool to be able to get back to our roots.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right, chapter 45. This is where it gets interesting. This is where Joseph reveals his identity.
So
he's finally going to tell his brothers who he actually is.
So good.
All right, so Joseph could no longer keep his composure in front of all his attendants. So he called out, "Send everyone away from me." No one was with him when he revealed his identities to his brothers. But he wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard it, and also Pharaoh's household heard it. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still living?" But they could not answer him because they were terrified in his presence. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come near me." And they came near. "I am Joseph, your brother," he said, "the one you sold into Egypt. And now don't be grieved or angry with yourselves for selling me here, because God sent me ahead of you to preserve life. For the famine has been in these lands these 2 years, and there will be 5 more years without plowing or harvesting. God sent me ahead of you to establish you as a remnant within the land and keep you alive by a great deliverance. Therefore, it is not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, lord of his entire household, and ruler over all the land of Egypt." So the shock immediately goes into almost sovereignty and basically let the healing begin. All this trauma and just things that they've been dealing with is finally just going to melt away.
That's so nice. Cool. And that they ate at them. Because remember when they had the silver when they went back home and they're like, "Is this because what we did? Oh gosh, this is a curse. This is God." I mean, that must have ate at them every single day for the rest of their lives.
Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. So there's a lot of healing. You're right. This is a massive, what is that called? When the whole family comes together and just lets it all.
Oh, I mean, it's like, it's just like almost like an intervention. But
yes, intervention. That's it.
Yes. Okay, cool. All right, return quickly to my father and say to him, "This is what your son Joseph says. God has made me lord of all Egypt. Come down to me without delay. You can settle in the land of Goshen and be near me. You, your children, and your grandchildren, your flocks, your herd, and all you have. There I will sustain you, for there will be 5 more years of famine. Otherwise, you, your household, and everything you have will become destitute. Look, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin can see that I'm the one speaking to you. Tell my father about all my glory in Egypt and about all you have seen, and bring my father here quickly." Then Joseph threw his arms around his brother Benjamin and wept, and Benjamin wept on him. Afterward, his brothers talked with him. So they're all, like I said, healing begins. Let it all
let's have family. A big group hug.
Yes.
That's so good. This is so good.
All right, so now they got to go back for Jacob. So the return for Jacob. When the news reached Pharaoh's palace, Joseph's brothers have come. Pharaoh and his servants were pleased. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Tell your brothers, do this, load your animals and go on back to the land of Canaan. Get your father and your families and come back to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you can eat from the richness of the land. The best of the land of Egypt, and you can eat from the richness of the land." I just repeated the same thing. You are also commanded to them, "Do this, take wagons from the land of Egypt for your dependents and your wives, and bring your father here. Do not be concerned about your belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours." The sons of Israel did this. Joseph did Joseph gave them wagons as Pharaoh had commanded, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave each of the brothers change of clothes, but he gave Benjamin 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of clothes.
Oh,
talk about favor.
Jeez.
He sent his father the following. So he sent this to his father: 10 donkeys carrying the best products of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys carrying grain, food, and provisions for his father on the journey. So provision all around, basically. So Joseph sent his brothers on their way, and as they were leaving, he said to them, "Don't argue on the way." So they went up from Egypt and came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. They said, "Joseph is still alive, and he is ruler over all the land of Egypt." Jacob was stunned, for he did not believe them. But when they told Jacob all that Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to transport him, the spirit of their father Jacob revived. Then Israel said, "Enough, my son Joseph is still alive. I will go to see him before I die." So the good news always revives what grief buried. He was down and out.
Dude, this is so deep. It says Joseph, okay, the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived. I mean, they're talking about like a very spiritual thing that has happened to him, right? Yeah. Isn't that wild? Like how, I don't know, I'm just like looking at this through such open eyes as far as like the psychology of the mind, people with broken emotions, and then the healing of the trauma, and then now he is revived, and it's so cool. And this was all because, man, it goes all the way back to them throwing him in the pit, so that's interesting. How it was just turned for this huge thing. And man, that amount of donkeys, that'd be like someone like rolling up in like some Rolls Royce, or like the top cars, right? 10 of them coming along, and like, hey, why don't you come on to
get in, losers? We're going shopping.
Exactly. That's wild. Yeah. But I love it.
The donkeys were the currency of the day. If you had a donkey, you were rich.
Joseph had some style, man.
It always reminds me of like the Middle Eastern guys that like they all have like the headdresses and like the very traditional garb, and they all have like a lion or like a Ferrari like in the middle of the desert. Like this is what I imagine Joseph and his brothers. They're just like
100%.
That's 100% what it is. with the gold chains and
cheetah
like
on a golden chain, or leopard.
All right, chapter 46. Jacob leaves for Egypt. Israel set out with all that he had and came to Beersheba, and he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. That night God spoke to Israel in a vision. "Jacob, Jacob," he said, and Jacob replied, "Here I am." God said, "I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for I will make you into a great nation there." Prophecy, guys, prophecy. "I will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you back. Joseph will close your eyes when you die." So he's basically saying all of your sons are going to be in the same place. You're going to be reunited with Joseph, and everything's going to be right in the world. Don't be afraid to go down there. I know that Egypt is scary, but it's okay. I got you.
I love that.
So Jacob left Beersheba. The sons of Israel took their father Jacob in the wagon Pharaoh had sent to carry him, along with their dependents and their wives. They also took their cattle and possessions they had acquired in the land of Canaan. Then Jacob and all his offsprings with him came to Egypt. His sons and grandsons, his daughters and granddaughters, indeed all his offspring he brought with him to Egypt. So, promise travels. He promised him he was going to make him great, multiply him into this great nation. You want to be a great nation, you're going to take your great nation with you.
And like he's seen it happening, it's like, okay, let's go.
Right. All right, so Jacob's family. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt. Jacob and his sons. Jacob's firstborn, Reuben. Reuben's sons, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. Simeon's sons, Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shael, or Shaul like Paul. Okay, the son of a Canaanite woman.
Oof.
Levi's sons, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Judah's sons, Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamuel. Issachar's sons, Tola, Puva, Jashub, and Shimron. Zebulun's sons, Sered, Elon, and Jaleel. These were Leah's sons, born to Jacob in Padan Aram, as well as his daughter Dinah. So there she is. The total number of persons, 33. Gad's sons, Ziphion, Haggai, Shunai, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. Asher's sons, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, Beria, and their sister Sirah. Beria's sons were Heber and Malchiel. These were the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Leah, that she bore to Jacob, 16 persons. So wife number 1 had, 33? Wife number 2 had 16.
Man, getting pretty big now.
Yeah.
Getting a whole troop.
Mm-hmm.
Family troop moving on over to Egypt. This is cool.
So the sons of Jacob's wives, Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. Manasseh and Ephraim were born to Joseph in the land of Egypt. They were born to him by Asenath, daughter of Potipharah, a priest at On. Benjamin's sons, Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Muppin, Huppim, and Ard. Some of these names I'm just like, wow. I'm probably saying them wrong, but some of them are just so funny. All right, these were Rachel's sons who were born to Jacob, 14 persons. Dan's sons, Hashem. Naphtali's sons, Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shelim. These were the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to his daughter Rachel. She bore to Jacob 7 persons. The total number of persons belonging to Jacob, his direct descendants, not including the wives of Jacob's sons who came to Egypt, 66. And Joseph's sons who were born to him in Egypt, 2 persons. All of those of Jacob's household who came to Egypt, 70 persons.
Yeah.
So that right there is just the promise that God promised to Jacob and said, I'm going to multiply your household. I'm going to make you a great nation from your household. And 70 people.
Yeah.
70 immediate family members.
Yep. And they all just went up and moved. So they all listened to the father then, is how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
I think they do. They listen to like the patriarch of the family and kind of keep close to him. Unless you're like a wife, then you obviously leave your family and go join your husband's family.
Okay.
At least that's what it seems like.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's the theme. Yeah. And let's go to Egypt. I mean, Egypt's cool. Like, yeah, nice. All
right, Jacob. Well, there is famine there, but because of Joseph's fine finagling and planning, they were able to not really have a famine there. That's a good thing. All right, Jacob arrives in Egypt. Now Jacob had sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to prepare his arrival at Goshen. When they came to the land of Goshen, Joseph hitched the horses to his chariot and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. Joseph presented himself to him, threw his arms around him, and wept for a long time. Then Israel said to Joseph, I'm ready to die now because I have seen your face and you are still alive. Joseph said to his brothers and his father's family, I will go up and inform Pharaoh, telling him, my brothers and his father's family who were in the land of Canaan have come to me. The men are shepherds. They also raise livestock. They have brought their flocks and herds and all that they have. When Pharaoh addresses you and asks, what is your occupation? You are to say, your servants, both we and our ancestors, have raised livestock for our youth until now. Then you will be allowed to settle in the land of Goshen, since all shepherds are detestable to Egyptians. So,
But at least they had a spot, you know.
Right.
They gave him a spot, and that's nice.
it almost seems like the Egyptians were not very welcoming because they wouldn't eat dinner with Joseph's family. They had to eat separately because they were detestable.
Yes.
There's a lot of, and we'll see that now in a few, just in Exodus in a few chapters, they took them all and made them slaves.
Yep.
So Egyptians probably aren't the best type of people to be around.
Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to go to Egypt. It sounded good at first with it.
Yeah. Okay. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. And I'm enjoying reading through this. I hope that you guys are. And I hope
this is great.
Yeah. All right. So chapter 47. Pharaoh welcomes Jacob. So Joseph went and informed Pharaoh, my father and my brothers with their flocks and herds and all that they own have come from the land of Canaan and are now in the land of Goshen. He took 5 of his brothers and presented them to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh asked his brothers, what is your occupation? They said to Pharaoh, your servants, both we and our ancestors, are shepherds. And they said to Pharaoh, we have come to stay in the land for a while because there is no grazing land for your shepherds' sheep, since the famine in the land of Canaan has been severe. So now, please let your servants settle in the land of Goshen. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, now that your father and brothers have come to you, the land of Egypt is open before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best part of the land. They can live in the land of Goshen. If you know of any capable men among them, put them in charge of my livestock. Joseph then brought his father Jacob and presented him to Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Jacob, how many years have you lived? Jacob said to Pharaoh, my pilgrimage has lasted 130 years. It's a long time.
He's no man.
Yeah. My years have been few and hard, and they have not reached the years of my ancestors during their pilgrimages. Yeah, because his ancestors, they were living up to 900, 500, many, many years.
Yep.
So Jacob blessed Pharaoh and departed from Pharaoh's presence. Then Joseph settled his father and brothers in the land of Egypt and gave them property in the best part of the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph provided his father, his brothers, and all his father's family with food for their dependents. So, from famine to favor. Right there.
Living the good life.
Mm-hmm.
They got land.
They got land, they got food. They don't have to worry about famine. They're good. They got their brother back. They thought that they murdered or got him murdered at some point, and he's good. Everything's good in the world. So the land becomes Pharaoh's. But there was no food in the entire region, for the famine was very severe. The land of Egypt and the land of Canaan were exhausted by the famine. Joseph collected all the silver to be found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan in exchange for the grain they were purchasing, and he brought the silver to Pharaoh's palace. When the silver from the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan was gone, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, give us food. Why should we die here in front of you? The silver is gone. But Joseph said, give me your livestock. Since the silver is gone, I will give you food in exchange for your livestock. So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and he gave them food in exchange for the horses, the flocks of sheep, the herds of cattle, and the donkeys. That year he provided them with food in exchange for all their livestock. When that year was over, they came the next year and said to him, we cannot hide from our Lord that the silver is gone and that all our livestock belongs to our Lord. There is nothing left for our Lord except our bodies and our land. Why should we die here in front of you, both us and our land? Buy us and our land in exchange for food. Then we will, with our land, will be Pharaoh's slaves. Give us seed so that we can live and not die, and so that the land won't become desolate. In this way, Joseph acquired all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh, because every Egyptian sold his field since the famine was so severe for them. The land became Pharaoh's, and Joseph made the people servants from one end of Egypt to the other. The only land he did not acquire belonged to the priests, for they had an allowance from Pharaoh. They ate from their allowance that Pharaoh gave them, therefore they did not sell their land. Joseph said to the people, understand today that I have acquired you and your land for Pharaoh. Here is seed for you. Sow it in the land. At harvest you are to give 1/5 of it to Pharaoh, and 4/5 will be yours as seed for the field and as food for yourselves, your households, and your dependents. You have saved our lives, they said. We have found favor with our Lord and be Pharaoh's slaves. So Joseph made it a law, still in effect today in the land of Egypt, that a fifth of the produce belongs to Pharaoh. Only the priest's land does not belong to Pharaoh. So that right there, he acquired all the land.
Boom.
That's it.
It was a seizure.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's interesting because now is this part of like their
them slowly
enslavement?
becoming imprisonment? I know, that's what I was wondering too. If it is, that's an interesting slippery slope, because it was an exchange at first,
right?
But then it's like, well, what else do we have to give you but our bodies? Right? Were they actually saying slaving? I don't know. Hopefully,
I mean,
not.
that's basically what they're saying, because they're like, we don't have anything else, so you take our land and you take our bodies and make us work for you and pay off our debts.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. This might be the beginning.
I guess it may be the beginning of the enslavement. Who knows? All right. Israel settles in Goshen. Israel settled in the land of Egypt in the region of Goshen. They acquired property in it and became fruitful and very numerous. Now Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. Keck. And his lifespan was 147 years. When the time approached for him to die, he called his son Joseph and said to him, "If I have found favor with you, put your hand under my thigh." Which we found out a few chapters ago. Under the thigh is it's a very deep meaning. It has a lot of significance. And I can pull that up again. So thigh. Yeah, here it is. So the thigh symbolizes strength, posterity, and covenant. So it happens with oaths, like Abraham and Jacob. They both took oaths with the thigh, and it's like instead of shaking of the hands kind of thing,
right?
It's like a shaking of the thigh. And then there's like a deeper meaning for like in Jewish culture, supposedly they were not allowed to eat thigh meat or like the joints of the thigh, because it was like that's like a sacred thing, and it's like you can't eat that.
Whoa, I love that you did a deep dive on that to figure it out, because I'd be like reading it like, yeah, thigh, interesting. But it actually had very deep meaning. Wow. Yeah.
So it signifies lineage and commitment to God's promises. And so it also is like it's like represents like an aspect of priesthood, because the right thigh is a priestly portion. Supposedly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it really is like there's deeper meaning behind the thigh, because it's not the first time that they even use it in just like the Old Testament. And even in Genesis, this is not the first time that they use the thigh. So yeah.
We're not using the thigh anymore. What happened? It's like a sacred pledge. That's so cool.
So put your hand under my thigh and promise me that you will deal with me in kindness and faithfulness. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I rest with my ancestors, carry me away from Egypt and bury me in their burial place. Joseph answered, I will do what you have asked. And Joseph said, swear to me. So Joseph swore to him. Then Israel bowed in thanks at the head of his bed. So that's really important, because obviously they go into captivity. They're in Pharaoh's reach, and he keeps them there. Jacob's bones, they're not able to move them because he dies there. He dies there, and he said, please take my bones when you guys are able to leave this place finally. Take them with you and properly bury me in the land of my ancestors, basically.
That was very important.
Yep. And we see this in Exodus that Moses takes the bones and leaves the country. Like when they finally leave, and they, Pharaoh's like, you guys can go, get out of here before the Red Sea crossing. They take the bones and they go on their way. So Moses actually remembers the covenant that they and the promise, and he actually he fulfills the promise.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and I only know that because I was reading that this week in Exodus.
Nice.
All right, we're almost done, guys. Almost done. We're at chapter 48. Jacob blesses Ephraim and Manasseh. Sometime after this, Joseph was told, your father is weaker. So he set out with his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Jacob was told, your son Joseph has come to you, Israel summoned his strength and sat up in bed. Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. He said to me, I will make you fruitful and numerous. I will make many nations come from you, and I will give this land as a permanent possession to your future descendants. Your 2 sons bore to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt are now mine. Ephraim and Manasseh belong to me just as Reuben and Simeon do. Children born to you after them will be yours and will be recorded under the names of their brothers with regard to their inheritance. When I was returning from Padan to my sorrow Rachel dying along the way, some distance from Ephrath in the land of Canaan, I buried her there along the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. When Israel saw Joseph's sons, he said, Who are those? And Joseph said to his fathers, They are my sons God has given me here. So Israel said, Bring them to me, and I will bless them. Now his eyesight was poor because of old age, and he could hardly see. Joseph brought them to him, and he kissed and embraced them. Israel said to Joseph, I never expected to see your face again, but now God has even let me see your offspring. Then Joseph took them from his father's knees and bowed with his face to the ground. And this is where we see a little flipping of blessing. Same thing kind of happened with Esau and just ancestral stuff where we see the blessing flip. We see the birthright be given away, we see the birthright flip, all of that. So same thing's going to kind of happen here. So Ephraim's greater blessing. Then Joseph took them both with his right hand, Ephraim toward Israel's left, and with his left hand Manasseh toward Israel's right, and brought them to Israel. But Israel stretched out his right hand and put it on the head of Ephraim. So he switched it. The younger, crossing his hands, put his left on Manasseh's head, although Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all harm, may he bless these boys, and may they be called by my name, and the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they grow to be numerous within the land. When Joseph saw that his father had placed his right hand on Ephraim's head, he thought it was a mistake and took his father's hand to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's. Joseph said to his father, Not that way, my father. This one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He too will become a tribe, and he too will be great. Nevertheless, his younger brother will be greater than he, and his offspring will become a populous nation. So he blessed them at that day, putting Ephraim before Manasseh when he said, The nation Israel will invoke blessings by you, saying, May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. Israel said to Joseph, Look, I am about to die, but God will be with you and will bring you to the land of my fathers, over and above what I am giving your brothers. I am giving you the one mountain slope that I took from the Amorites with my sword and bow. So same God, next generation, same blessing, mixed up again.
Right. It looked like nobody got angry though. There was just a little bit like, no, Dad, this one. And he's like, no,
I'm doing it right.
No, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting. Yeah.
But this is Jacob's last words. Jacob is about to be, this is Israel. This is like the big thing. This is the big guy that kind of sets up the lineage for the rest of the Bible. So Jacob's last words, chapter 49. Then Jacob called his sons and said, Gather around, and I will tell you what will happen to you in the days to come. Come together and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to your father Israel. So this is where he's giving out his final blessing to each of his sons. This is where he's going to, lay out the plans for them. So Reuben, you are my firstborn, my strength and the first fruits of my virility, excelling in prominence, excelling in power. Turbulent as water, you will not excel, because you got into your father's bed and you defiled it. He got into my bed. So Reuben, no blessing for you, basically. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their knives are vicious weapons. May I never enter their counsel. May I never join their assembly. For in their anger they kill men, and on a whim they hamstring oxen. Their anger is cursed, for it is strong, and their fury, for it is cruel. I will disperse them throughout Jacob and scatter them throughout Israel. So Simeon and Levi, because you decided that you were going to rape and pillage an entire nation because of your sister, you're cut off.
Yeah.
That's it. You're done. Judah, this one's the interesting one. Your brothers will praise you. Your hand will be on the necks of your enemies. Your father's sons will bow down to you. Judah is a young lion. My son, you return from the kill. He crouches. He lies down like a lion or a lioness. Who dares to rouse him? The scepter will not depart from Judah or the staff from between his feet until he whose right it comes. And the obedience of the peoples belong to him. So that's right there telling you that that's the Messiah's line. That's the lineage of where the Messiah is coming from. He ties his donkey to a vine and the colt of his donkey to the choice vine. He washes his clothes in wine and his robes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine and his teeth are whiter than milk. Zebulun will live by the seashore and will be a harbor for ships, and his territory will be next to Sidon. Issachar is a strong donkey, lying down between the saddlebags. He saw that his resting place was good and that the land was pleasant. So he leaned his shoulder to bear a load and became a forced laborer. Dan will judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan will be a snake by the road, a viper beside the path that bites the horse's heels so that its rider falls backward. I wait for your salvation, Lord. Gad will be attacked by raiders, and he will attack their heels. Asher's food will be rich, and he will produce royal delicacies. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. Joseph is a fruitful vine beside a spring. Its branches climb over the wall. The archers attacked him, shot at him, and were hostile toward him. And yet his bow remained steady, and his strong arms were made agile by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, by the name of the shepherd, the rock of Israel, by the God of your father who helps you, and by the Almighty who blesses you, with blessings of the heavens above, blessings of the deep that lies below, and blessings of the breasts and the womb. The blessings of your father excel the blessings of my ancestors and the bounty of the ancient hills. May they rest on the head of Joseph and the brow of the prince of his brothers. Benjamin is a wolf. He tears his prey. In the morning he devours the prey, and in the evening he divides the plunder. So that sounds like the warrior tribe to me. So these are the tribes of Israel, 12 in all, and this is what their father said to them. He blessed them, and he blessed each one with a suitable blessing. So it kind of gives them all a purpose, gives them all the calling, whether it be a good one or a bad one, because obviously 3 of the brothers were like got the short end of the stick. But they also kind of deserved it because they killed people.
Yeah, that's true.
So Jacob's burial instructions. Then he commanded them, I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my ancestors in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hethite. The cave is in the field of Machpelah near Mamre in the land of Canaan. This is the field Abraham purchased from Ephron the Hethite as burial property. Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried there. Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried there, and buried Leah there, and I buried Leah there. The field and the cave in it were purchased from the Hethites. When Jacob had finished giving charges to his sons, he drew his feet into the bed, took his last breath, and was gathered to his people. So,
He knew he was gonna die.
Yep, faithful finish right to the end.
Yep.
He knew that he was going to be good. He's like, look, just do what I told you. You guys know what you have to do, and that's it.
I like how it was also very sacred to be buried in the same place.
Yeah,
and it is because like this is everybody. Abraham, his wife, Isaac, Rebecca, like so it is sacred. And yeah, it's super I find it interesting that it was very important that he was brought back there.
Absolutely. All right, guys, This is the last one of Genesis that's gonna
Oh,
bring it all
hold on,
together.
really? Oh, whoa. You are finishing it. Way to go, girl.
Yeah.
Way to go, Jackie.
All right. Jacob's burial. So then Joseph leaned over his father's face, wept, and kissed him. He commanded his servants who were physicians to embalm his father. So they embalmed Israel. They took 40 days to complete this, for embalming takes that long, and the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. It's a long time. When the days of mourning were over, Joseph said to Pharaoh's household, "If I have found favor with you, please tell Pharaoh that my father made me take an oath, saying I am about to die. You must bury me there in the tomb that I made for myself in the land of Canaan. Now let me go and bury my father, then I will return." So Pharaoh said, "Go and bury your father in keeping with your oath." Then Joseph went to bury his father, and all Pharaoh's servants, the elders of his household, and all the elders of the land of Egypt went with him, along with all Joseph's family, his brothers, and his father's family. Only their dependents, their flocks, and their herds were left in the land of Goshen. Horses and chariots went up with him. It was a very impressive procession. When they reached the threshing floor of Atad, which is across the Jordan, they lamented and wept loudly, and Joseph mourned 7 days for his father. When the Canaanite inhabitants of the land saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, "This is a solemn mourning on the part of the Egyptians." Therefore, the place is named Abel Mizraim. It is across the Jordan. So Jacob's sons did for him what he had commanded them. They carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field near Mamre, which Abraham had purchased as burial property from Ephron the Hethite. After Joseph buried his father, he returned to Egypt with his brothers, and all had gone with him to bury his father. Joseph's kindness. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said to one another, "If Joseph is holding a grudge against us, he will certainly repay us for all the suffering he caused him." So they sent this message to Joseph. Before he died, your father gave a command. Say this to Joseph: "Please forgive your brother's transgression and their sin and suffering they caused you. Therefore, please forgive the transgressions of the servants of the God of your father." Joseph wept when their message came to him. His brothers also came to him, bowed down before him, and said, "We are your slaves." And Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You planned evil against me. God planned it for good, to bring about the present result, the survival of many people. Therefore, don't be afraid. I will take care of you and your children." And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. So they're forgiven. They went their whole lives, just going through the motions and just being afraid the entire time, just for Joseph in the final moments be like, "You know what, guys? I forgive you.
Yeah.
I forgive you."
And it wasn't really resolved even until after the father passed away. I find that interesting. Like they almost like, oh, the father's preventing Joseph from going really hardcore on us. And then as soon as the father passed away, oh, now he's going to really get us. It's like, no. So
Yeah.
I find that really cool. And the father did say, please, please forgive them. But yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
The forgiveness.
Joseph's death. Joseph and his father's family remained in Egypt. Joseph lived 110 years. He saw Ephraim's sons to the third generation. The sons of Manasseh's son Machir were recognized by Joseph. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will certainly come to your aid and bring you up from this land to the land he swore to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." So Joseph made the sons of Israel take an oath. "When God comes to your aid, you are to carry my bones up from here." Joseph died at the age of 110. They embalmed him and placed him in a coffin in Egypt. So that right there, like I said, take my bones. And finally, when God calls us out of here to the promised land that he has been promising us forever, please take my bones with you, because that is part of the promise.
Right. It's so cool. Yeah, I love going through all this. It just gives me such different thought about it. Obviously, these were people from different times, so there was different, culture and meanings and priorities. But I find it interesting about how they all want to be in this promised land and to even take the remains with them. And that's very, very sacred. It reminds me of like our soldiers that, die in combat. It's very important that the bodies come back so that the families can have it. So I just find it such a really unique, I guess, tradition of their time. But yeah, that's very, very interesting. Yeah. But he lived a good old life.
He did. Good. Yeah. I mean, it's funny though, because if you compare it to where we started at the beginning of Genesis, people were living 900, 1,000 years. And now, like, their lives, God was like, "Ooh, maybe we don't need to be living that long," and was like, "Okay, 100, 110 years, that's good." And even then, like, it's almost a miracle for people nowadays to be living to 110.
Right?
Like, it happens because I actually have a great uncle, I think, that lived to be 107.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, that would be cool.
And this guy knew 5 languages.
Oh, wow.
He used to, like, he was so he's Puerto Rican, so he knew Spanish and English, but he studied and I think taught himself French and maybe Portuguese.
Wow.
And would communicate, like, would write letters to people in French.
So he not only spoke it, but he also knew how to write it. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this guy was
about a brilliant mind to hold it all in there.
Yeah. And he was an author and like all of that. And so he was very close with my grandfather. I don't know if he has since passed away or anything like that. I'm almost positive he has. But actually for his 105th birthday, I made the shirt that says, "I turned 105.
Oh, okay. Oh, you actually did?
Yeah. So that was cool. Like, that's my connection to him. I never actually got to meet him, but for his birthday, my grandfather thought it would be a good present to send him and his family shirts that say, like, "My grandfather turned 105," or
that's
"My
awesome.
dad turned 105," and like take pictures with all of them. So
did they do that? Did they take
did.
Picture? Oh,
they did.
So cool.
I have it. I just don't. It's like buried in all of my photos because I have 50 million.
So many. That's super cool, man. I mean, I think to myself, it'd be awesome to live to 105. And then I'm like, but would it, like, I don't know, would my bones be hurting by then? But yeah, I think that would be pretty wild to live 100 years. You would see a lot of changes within your lifetime for sure.
That's for sure. I know Cam's grandmother is, I want to say either 94. I want to say she's turning 95 this year in March. But she's still going strong. Still going strong. And she's a nice Christian woman, God-fearing woman. Loves
Amen.
Her, loves her some Jesus. So maybe that's the secret to life is being close with him, and he'll grant you many, many years.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, think about it just in the state of like emotional, like your mindset. When you're following God and you truly are trusting him, your stress levels should be down, even in the middle of storms, right? So all these things that we know that do cause physical damage and take some years off your life, when you do trust God, you can truly be in that state, you probably can live a pretty nice life. Mindset is everything. And stress, I think, and fear is a life drainer for sure.
Yeah, totally. Well, guys, that is our Bible study for tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Abby, it was an absolute pleasure to have you. I would love to have you come back on whenever you want to come on.
And I should help you read next time. Dang it. I was like telling myself, like, Abby is such a brat.
No, you're not a brat at all. That is what are you talking about? It's totally fine. Like, I was gonna do it either way. Whether you were here or not, it would have still happened. So
I do love listening to you read, though. It is very nice. And because you could really get immersed in the story. I myself, all the books that I quote unquote read, I just do it through Audible because I don't
audiobooks.
Right. So I love listening to people read. It's like my favorite way to absorb the information. So I loved it. I super enjoyed it. And I loved coming on here. This is great.
Well, we did this because I was like, Abby, we can get this is easy 2 hours you can get for Rumble Studio.
Yep.
So if
Let's go.
we will continue to do this. And honestly, let me see. I think I'm at like 20 hours now. So
cool. I know I got to do a little bit more. I think I might be doing there's a few old books that would be cool to read too. So yeah, definitely. I got to figure out something that I would like to bring to the table that's got a lot of information and stuff. But I love how you're like, let's take this opportunity to just go into the Bible because that's the one book everyone should read. So it's just great. And I loved it. And I love your reading voice.
Thank you. Well, we did. I had one rant come through, so I'm going to pull that in real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And then we will get on out of here, get you guys back, and hopefully you guys can go to sleep. Because I want to go to sleep. So Artsy Joan for $20 said, thank you, Jackie and Abby. God bless.
Oh, thank you, Artsy Joan. So sweet. Yeah, and you know what? It'll be good. Maybe as you fall asleep, think about the stories and all the lessons that happened. There was a lot of lessons that happened. And yeah, I love it. And I love hearing the story of Joseph again, because it's just something I grew up learning, and just seeing it through new eyes, you learn a lot of how to handle situations. And basically don't get mad at God when bad things happen.
And the thing is that he's not going to give you any task or situation that you can't handle. He knows what you can handle. And yeah, it may feel like a strain, but it's supposed to feel like a strain because it's going to teach you something.
Right. It's going to make you grow. Mm-hmm. It's like in a video game. It levels you up. You got to be challenged to get to that next level. So yeah, I agree 100%. I love it.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for being here. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. We will, I will be live again on Saturday 1st. We're going to be jamming out to some music, 3 p.m. Eastern, Hooks and Harmony. And then Bible study again on Sunday, noon Eastern. And then GBS, Good Book Sessions with Dave, Bay Theater Dave. We're wrapping up season 2 of The Chosen. So season 2, episode 8 of The Chosen. I watched it today, bawled like a baby, every single episode. But we'll be covering that 7 p.m. Eastern on our channels. And then, of course, on Monday, back again with Alpha's Make Sandwiches with my host, Abby. But yeah, Abby, you got anything coming up planned or anything like that?
Oh, sheesh. I'll probably be live tomorrow, next day. Yes. I do got to start scheduling for sure. But everybody that's watching on my channel, please make sure to follow Jackie. I did put her thing down below so you can. Great person to follow. And you always just bring, I love you. You bring truth and you bring no BS, but you also bring love. And it's just a great mix. And yeah, so definitely follow her. And yeah, just watch my channel for the live.
And set your notification, like your
put your bell on.
Turn the bell on so that you know when Abby's going live, because Abby's just like she is very type B personality, and she just kind of goes live whenever she feels like it. I am very much type A, and I need to schedule my stuff out, because if I don't schedule it, then it won't happen.
So, but see, I love that. I plan. I go, I would sure love to be that way. And I can, but it is definitely not natural in my personality type. So I love how you bring that up. So true. But scheduling is the way to go for sure. So
it is. Yes. I mean, because I know a lot of our community is like very like, I need to schedule out my stuff so that I know where I'm going and what I'm doing and what I'm watching. And I'm like, I get it. But sometimes the spontaneity is nice too.
Yeah. So, little bit of this, little bit of that.
You don't know what's going to happen next. So stay tuned. All right, everybody. Have a good night. We love you. God bless you. And we will see you next time.
Bye.